And away to Nigeria, where in Nigeria, Boko Haram has seized the Islamic State West Africa province, ISWAP, operational bases, with the fleeing of 11 commanders and cleric in the Lake Chad region of Borno State. The seized bases of the terror group are in Abadam Local Council, a counter-insurgency expert in the Lake Chad region, Zagazola Makama, disclosed in Maiduguri that the seizure of the ISWAP bases forced 11 commanders to flee along with ISWAP cleric Moussab. According to the source, the ISWAP terrorists were overpowered during a 14-hour gun battle. The source added that on January 2nd, 2023, the Asmer Jaish of Boko Haram, Ali Ngude, had 5 killers comprising Mok from Mandara Mountains, Aligana and Nguri, Abatuka and Matari, and Maisumari. Now joining me live as a security consultant, Femi Aratokun-Ale, joins us on the news to actually give us a clearer perspective and also an expert's eye view on this particular incident. Now, thank you for joining in, Femi.
Thank you for having me, Double.
All right, so let's get straight to it. There has been an increase in internal conflict between factions of insurgent groups in the Northeast. What is actually your opinion as regards what is responsible for this increased internal conflict?
Basically, when you look at this situation very well, we can tell where the problem is coming from and what the government and other West African security affiliations are not doing correctly. Number one, I'm going to give it to the Nigerian army. They've tried their best and they are still working well to make sure that they put so much into it to make sure that we see a decrease, a de-escalated situation in the Northeast in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, but in Lake Chad as well. But having said that, we don't need to put all this blame on the Nigerian security system alone, which is the Nigerian army. We need to equally look into what is the role of our Nigerian immigration services around these border areas. Why is it that we have only the military and we're exonerating or we're leaving behind the Nigerian immigration to do their job and the other part of the country or the Lake Chad state as well to do their job? So we have weapons flying in, moving in around the borders without no control. No one is profiling anyone. We're just leaving everything for the Nigerian army to do, and they are overstretched and to get to a point whereby they will call it, you know what, we're doing what we can do. If the government, if the politicians don't step up to put some policies in place, nothing is actually going to work. And we might likely see all of this playing a part in the 2023 election coming up around this Northeast. The question will be, how many areas can election actually take place in all these areas if you want a better Nigeria?
All right, just still in that note, what are some of the kinetic and non-kinetic approaches employed by the military for which more Boko Haram members have continued to drop their arms?
Well, basically, if you look at the kinetic and the unkinetic, just like you mentioned, a lot is actually playing a part. That simply means, what exactly is the role of our politicians in all this? Are they actually supporting or they are against them? This is one thing we really don't know. And this is where we need to come up openly and, probably, criticize them, or they should tell us what their role is. The Boko Haram that have been captured, what exactly is the radicalization program given to them? If we do not have anything done on this part, then it is a big problem. And if we have them moving back into the community, they will create more problems because we're not putting them into an empowerment program that will surely de-radicalize them to be part of the society. Rather, if we just move them in and let them just go scot-free, no one is being apprehended, no one is being in court or prosecuted, then we're still going to be having the same problem, dancing around like a barber shop. So this is one thing that the politicians are not doing, and the police are not equally doing enough. By saying that, what exactly is the weaponry, manpower, welfare given to all these security agencies to counter all these insurgencies that we have in Nigeria, Lake Chad, Northeast border today?
All right. Well, still in that vein also, while the spread and capacity of the insurgents have been degraded in the northeast. It seems kidnappers and bandits in the northwest have either recruited former members of Boko Haram or in collaboration with them. What is your take on this, actually?
Well, if they are being recruited from any of these sectors or these criminals that we know of today, the question would be, why is the government not putting in place an empowerment program that would definitely work well? We have so many NGOs that ought to do so much, but again, what exactly is their role? Like in my own case now, there is this group somewhere in Nigeria called the Panache Global Africa. They are putting up a whole lot of situations in place whereby they can equally help the country. And I believe we have so many of them in Borno State. But how empowered are they? What is the government giving them so much platform to let them integrate and engage with the member of the public or not? So if we look at the whole thing, the body language of our government is saying a different thing, whereby we're seeing a different thing in our news today. So it is a big problem that both the politicians, the member of the community, the emirs, the religious leaders, they all need to sit down together and look for a better way to work this out.
All right, Femi, before I quickly let you go, you made reference to the elections. The INEC, that's the electoral body, has said that the forthcoming elections, due to security reasons, might be cancelled or postponed. Do you see that happening?
In all honesty, as a security consultant, as a security strategist, I see that likely to happen because we have so many unsecured, ungoverned areas in Nigeria, whereby if we don't do so much, and which is a bit too late now, definitely the elections might be postponed or cancelled, and that will lead to a whole lot of chaos. And I don't pray for bloodshed, but we can see that happening. That's the honest truth.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Femi.
Thank you so much for having me.